Police are investigating a shooting in Institute this evening. That shooting happened shortly before 6:30 this evening in the area of Marshall Avenue. Dispatchers say one person was reportedly shot in the hand. According to deputies, the suspects were driving a silver Dodge Magnum with chrome wheels. Police are investigating that incident. Smithers Police and West Virginia State Police are investigating how a woman was struck by a jet ski on the Kanawha River. The accident happened east of the Montgomery Bridge just after 4 this afternoon. Lieutenant James Bowles of the Smithers Fire Department said the victim had fallen off a jet ski just before being struck by another jet ski. Authorities have not released the name of the victim. A motorcycle accident in Lincoln County sends one person to the hospital. That accident happened on Patty's Branch Road near Ranger around 8 o'clock this evening. Dispatchers say the motorcycle went into a ditch, flipped, and the driver suffered a broken arm and back injuries. He was transported to Cabell Huntington Hospital by Lincoln County EMS. Early this morning, a house fire was reported in the Silverton area of Jackson County. According to 911 dispatchers, no injuries were reported at that fire. The cause of the blaze is not yet known. A burglary investigation in St. Albans leads to the discovery of a meth lab and the arrest of a husband and wife. Authorities arrested Christopher Hill and his wife Laura in connection with the meth lab discovery. Investigators say they went to the couple's residence on Zirkle Street to follow up on leads from a burglary investigation. While there, they smelled meth and found the makings of a meth lab. More charges may be forthcoming against other individuals in this case. One of 3 men who escaped from the Huntington Work Release Center last week was captured last night. Cabell County Sheriff Tom McComas says 25-year-old David Pop was apprehended in the Bluefield area by a task force in southern West Virginia. Pop will be charged with escape and transferred back to Huntington. Another escapee, David Knight, was captured on Wednesday. A third escapee, DeJuan Jones, is still on the run tonight. We know there are hundreds of retirement villages in states like Florida and Arizona, and now one is being developed right here in West Virginia. The Wiseman family of Putnam County brought the former Bronco Junction campsite in 2002, and now they're creating a West Virginia retirement village. More than 30 years ago, Bronco Junction was a thriving camp for asthmatic children in Putnam County. The sounds of nature can now be heard throughout the area since the camp closed in 1983, and the sight of campers has been replaced with the sight of wildlife. In 2002, the Wiseman family brought the camp out of bankruptcy, with many of the buildings at the camp showing their age.
Had it for a couple years and finally decided, we was going to do something with it, and kind of decided to make a retirement home for retired, semi-retired older folks that want to get out in the country.
It's mixed emotions. At least it's not just run down.
Tammy Cheney of South Charleston is a former Bronco Junction camper.
The memories are so vivid when you walk out there. Although the things aren't there and the cars aren't there and the people aren't there, the memories are there. So in a way, it's good that they're taking care of the place.
Later this summer, the Wisemans are getting ready to welcome Cheney and dozens of other former Bronco Junction campers.
We're proud that they want to come back and get back out in the country where they were at. These kids have a lot of memories.
Now the Wisemans are hoping some retired families will also make memories at the former Bronco Junction camp. 3 units have been created from the dining hall and infirmary, with plans to possibly add more. The Wisemans say the former campsite has opportunities for retirees to enjoy fishing, hiking, and biking. Ritter Park in Huntington turned into an art gallery today. Paintings, portraits, and even sculptures lined the park's walking trail. Members of the Tri-State Arts Association displayed and sold their works to those who passed by. The 2-day event is a part of the association's plan of bringing local art into the local spotlight. Artists at the event say being at the park makes it more enjoyable for everyone.
I think it helps the park. I think that, it shows community, it helps show the community spirit to help the local artists. We have wonderful artists in this area. And it's just being outdoors, plein air, as they say, and it's just communicating with other artists and getting, it's a nice way to do that.
Art in the Park will continue tomorrow afternoon from noon till 5, and the Tri-State Art Association is planning another sale in September. Still to come tonight on 13 News at 11, is he staying or is he going? The latest in the continuing saga of New York Congressman Anthony Weiner when 13 News at 11 returns. Stay with us.
Gil?
Thanks so much, Brittany. In the news tonight, Christmas is a time for many folks to spend with loved ones, but one West Virginia family remains without a little girl this holiday season. Today marks exactly 3 months since 3-year-old Aaliyah Lunsford went missing from her Lewis County home. Now, just in time for Christmas Eve, some concerned citizens held an indoor yard sale the last 3 days to help pay for the materials to make 2 large signs to put up on Interstate 79. They say they raised the majority of the money, but still need a little bit more, and that the FBI is supporting the project. Now, if you have any information that might help authorities find little Aaliyah, call the West Virginia Fusion Center at 1-866-WV-WATCH. The FBI is also offering a $20,000 reward for information. Governor Earl Ray Tomblin has ordered flags at state facilities to be lowered on Tuesday in honor of a West Virginia National Guard pilot killed in a plane crash earlier this week. 42-year-old Michael Scott Lakin of Charleston was killed Thursday while performing stunt aerial maneuvers during recertification testing. Originally commissioned as an officer in the Marines, Lakin left active duty and joined the 130th West Virginia Air National Guard, spending more than a year flying combat missions in the Middle East. Lakin was also a pilot for the Mountain State, flying West Virginia's King Air 350 and Cessna Grand Caravan planes. Domestic battery charges against a Putnam County commissioner have been dropped. Ed Rebrook, attorney for Commissioner Gary Tillis, says charges were dropped against his client after Tillis's wife and stepdaughter testified the commissioner did not hit anyone. He says prosecutors then voluntarily dismissed the charges because they could not prove the incident happened. Gary Tillis was arrested last September by Illinois police. He tells us he doesn't plan to seek re-election when his term ends next year, adding he made that decision before the September incident. Well, if your Christmas shopping isn't done, time has almost run out. Some stores in our area are still open for that last-minute shopping. Here's a list for you now. Family Dollar, Dollar General, and Walmart are staying open a couple more hours. They're going to close at 8 o'clock tonight. Target is open until 9. Kmart and Toys R Us are staying open until 10 o'clock tonight. Well, just hours from Christmas, the crowds were still out in full force today. That is, looking for last-minute deals. Now, we met up with one man who doesn't have a shop and doesn't have a store, but is running quite the business. 13 News reporter David Iverson takes us to Boone County for a look at how tiny bonsai trees are making one man's holiday wish come true.
Take a trip down 119 into Boone County and you'll find a different tree by a different kind of salesman.
Christmas season, bonsai trees set up for selling.
From the side of the road, Japan native Nato Saizoka doesn't just sell bonsai trees, but sells a history.
18 years old, 25 years old.
He says it may not be the ideal way to spend Christmas Eve, but it's a great way to make a living. Each of these bonsai trees sells for $20 to $300, and people are stopping and buying.
Thank you.
He says more than 100 people have stopped and looked. Many have purchased. Customers know some of the history.
A lot of people buy this. Families give you a Christmas present.
A tree that's literally been around for centuries, sold here on the side of the highway. Saizoka says bonsai trees are good luck, strong roots that grow in mountains, making this the perfect place to sell them.
Yeah, good luck.
In Boone County, David Iverson reporting.
Thanks, David. Bonsai trees can't actually be found growing here in the Appalachian Mountains. They became available in America only after World War II. Well, if you're married, you hopefully remember your wedding day. I know I remember mine. And for an area couple, their wedding day will be one they won't soon forget. Ralph Graham and Debbie Knapp met a year ago at the Huntington Mall. And last night they tied the knot at the exact spot where they met. They walked down the aisle as Santa and Miss Claus, and had elves stand in as their best men and bridesmaids. Their reception featured milk and cookies for friends, family, and late-night mall shoppers. For the bride and groom, it was a dream come true.
Ralph told me he'd meet me here with bells on, and he did, right in front of the Santa Claus display.
We want everyone to join in our joy.
Well, as for a honeymoon, that's even a secret to the groom, but of course the obvious choice is the North Pole. We know Debbie Knapp's Christmas wedding wasn't the only good news in that family. Knapp happens to be the great aunt of Lydia Payton, whose story we've been following for you since the little girl was crushed by a tombstone in a freak accident last month. Little Lydia continues to make big progress in her recovery. As you can see in this exclusive video, she is now out of her cast. Her mom says it came as a surprise even to them. Lydia is still paralyzed, but she is going to begin physical therapy. For her mother, this progress means the world.
She'll be able to enjoy it with the kids on the floor, you know, sit in the floor like a normal 2-year-old would with us. She'll have to sit in one of our laps, but hey, she's with us, with family, and to have her here tonight with us is awesome.
Lydia had been in that full-body cast since her recovery began. Her family is planning a welcome home party for the little girl next Saturday at the Milton Fire Department. It starts at 1 o'clock, and the public is welcome to attend. Christmas is a time for giving, and for some, that means giving their time to help others less fortunate. Today, more than 45 volunteers from high schools, churches, and law firms spent time cooking and serving food for the homeless at the Crossroads Homeless Shelter in Charleston. Organizers say this has been a tradition for many years, and they couldn't do it without the help of all the volunteers.
Well, they get a true blessing, and, you know, they come in and, you know, they expect to be a blessing, or, be a blessing to the folks they serve. But when they leave, they receive the blessing.
Snead says even though the dinner closed at 3 o'clock, they will still feed people if they come in. Although he may not have made it to our area just yet, Santa has been hard at work in much of the world. And once again, there's an easy way to keep track of Old St. Nick. NORAD has been tracking Santa as he delivers toys around the world since the 1950s. The Santa tracker shows that he's currently making his way through Africa, and although only he knows his exact route, Santa Claus is expected to head to Europe next. You can watch Santa's toy run online at noradsanta.org. Still to come tonight across the country and around the region, mail services saw their biggest week of the year. We'll take a look back at that story and more in your Week in Review. Plus, we'll take a look at the year's biggest coal mergers as we count down our top stories for the year 2011. Details straight ahead. Don't go anywhere.